Imagine yourself growing up in a community in which the best job you're likely able to get will be at a factory job. If you're lucky enough to go to a university, it's very unlikely that you're going to be able to get a job in your community that utilizes your full degree. A community such as this is the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, or as Upers, as we like to be known, or prefer to be called. In the 1840s, the Upper Peninsula was primarily a mining and lumber community. It prospered very well during those periods. Keweenaw became known for its copper. Various iron mines across the Lake Superior shore sprung up, and the lumber industry boomed across the vast reaches of the old growth forest. Many people immigrated to the UP, seen here, from places such as Finland and Germany. There are also many French Canadians there. Many of the people that live in the UP have been there for generations. Since 1970, the socioeconomic conditions in the UP have changed very little compared to the rest of the country. It's been quite a disappointment for many and has caused many to move away. There's been a decrease in the iron jobs for mining, the copper jobs for mining, and the lumber industry. Seen here is one of the old iron ore docks that has been in Marquette for more than 100 years. There's also been a decrease in the lumber industry, which is a huge part of the community that I'm from. The mainstay of the economic town of Marquette has been mining, such as companies like Cleveland Cliffs, but it's owned by an Ohio company, and most of the people that work there can only hope to get managerial jobs. That is about as far as they can go living in the community of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. In my own community, Menominee, there's a company called Aquila that has hoped to move in to mine the rich nickel deposits. There's an extreme danger of sulfide mining, which they want to do, that has caused many people in my community, as seen here, to protest. The sulfide mining would kill much of the vast natural resources, such as the rivers and the lakes, because it involves pouring sulfuric acid into large pit mines to dissolve the nickel and then extract the nickel from the sulfuric acid. Institutions such as colleges and prisons have sprung up to provide jobs for the people in the UP, but it's a meager concession to the people in the UP. The population of Michigan in 2018 was 9,995,915. 4,276,040 of those people had employment with a median salary of $17.62. The population of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, by contrast, is 302,077 as of 2017. 111,760 of those people have jobs at a median salary of $15.94. If you consider this relative to the rest of the country, you realize how little the people in the UP actually make. To support a family on $15.94 an hour is virtually impossible. I understand that roughly only 3% of the Michigan population actually reside in the Upper Peninsula, but for the people that do live there, that approximately 300,000, only 37% of them actually have employment. Many of them have gone into categories such as discouraged workers or underemployed. The mainstay, more than a quarter of the people, work in offices or in sales. Of the roughly 302,000 people that live in the UP, approximately 17% live below the poverty line. The economic downturns affect the Upper Peninsula much more severely than most of the rest of the country and the rest of Michigan. The Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis came out and said job growth in the UP has also been slow to recover from the recession. In fact, rather than rebounding after job losses were finally staunched around 2009, total employment in the region has stayed virtually flat. Here is a graph that shows the population declining because of lack of employment, the UP labor force declining because of people that are capable of working moving away, and the UP unemployment. Please note that this right here is the Great Recession. Here's a picture of the Mackinac Bridge. It was an attempt to solidify the Upper Peninsula and the Lower Peninsula together as one state. In 1957, it was completed, and it's a 5-mile long suspension bridge. Now that I have gone over the socioeconomic issues that have plagued the UP and have been greatly exacerbated since the 1970s, I would like to go over the revitalization that people have attempted to try to save the people of the UP and the wilderness of the UP. Even though the UP makes up 29% of the land mass of Michigan, it only accounts for 3% of the population. There was a joke that I've heard. Michigan wanted to create jobs in the Upper Peninsula, so they put the toll booths for the bridge on our side. There was an initiative that has gone through many times through congressional hearings for the UP, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, to secede from the rest of Michigan and become the 51st state. This is a dramatization of the possible flag. Many of the people that live in the UP feel disconnected from the rest of Michigan. Many often choose to live lives that could be seen as wilderness people. Often people will save money to buy pieces of property far out in the woods, and they'll virtually completely live off the land. Recent organizations have banded together to stop mining projects that have been dangerous. It must be noted, though, that there are many safe mining projects in the Upper Peninsula that provide great economic benefits to the people of the Upper Peninsula, despite the fact that most of the natural resources are not owned by the people of the Upper Peninsula. Economic revitalization has also happened on a smaller economic scale, such as local businesses. In my own community, there's the My Marinette Menominee Project, which has sought to increase local businesses. It is combined with Marinette, Wisconsin, and Menominee, Michigan, because in my community, it's basically one town. Locals might not verbally express how they feel about outsiders, but I've seen far too many times when foreign entities or outsiders have tried to start businesses in my community through commercial means. Virtually always they go bankrupt. Normally, they don't get any business, and locals prefer to shop at a shop that it was owned by someone they went to high school with or has employees that they went to high school with. The Upers greatly value their land and will do a lot to protect it, often sacrificing their own economic benefits. Here are some pictures of the Upper Peninsula wilderness. Here is an example of Upers protecting their own, a book about Uper bars. I believe that the Upper Peninsula is a special place with a special type of people. Due to the social constraints and the economic constraints and the demographic backgrounds, the Upper Peninsula is virtually impossible to create lasting and significant progress that will benefit future generations. There was a man that spoke of the UP, and he said, "It's an edgy place. I mean, in the sense that it still hangs out there like a rawhide flap of the old frontier, outposted from the swirl of mainstream America. The UP is a hard place. A person has to want to hurt a lot to live there. That was John G. Mitchell for the Autobahn magazine. One of my favorite quotes ever was written by a former Michigan Supreme Court Justice, John Volker. The best thing that could happen to the UP would be for someone to bomb the bridge.